Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, a man who had a premonition that this intro would be hilarious, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, and you never let me down, sir. So, premonition was correct. Absolutely.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Glad to see you, sir. Glad to do this episode as we missed last week, but we're always working. We're always doing our stuff. We're always out at the theater. We're always watching things. So this episode will be a horror-filled episode, as we did watch the big new entry of the weekend, Final Destination Bloodlines. This is the 6th entry in the series. We will talk about that up top. We will also cover Until Dawn, the Sony PlayStation adaptation. I have that right?
Yep, you got that right.
Amazing that this is, but we're in a world where like Last of Us and Fallout and all those things are working, but also Borderlands existed. So you never know. But Shane caught that one, so we will talk about that one as well. I also caught Clown in a Cornfield on the big screen, not in reality, because that would just ruin my entire existence. So I'm glad I got it that way. But yeah, let's start up top, man. Let's go with the gold, because Final Destination Bloodlines, this is shocking all the way around, because you have something that is a 6th entry in the series, as we said, that hasn't had an entry since 2011. This is not a remake, although you can make an argument that they're all remaking the first one, sort of. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is an interesting thing, because this movie made a lot of money. This movie made $102 million worldwide over the weekend and split even, 51 domestic, 51 internationally. But it also is getting well reviewed across the board. 7.1 IMDb, 74 Metascore. That shocked me the most. 93 Rotten Tomato, 89 audience score. I will not say popcorn meter until you approve me for Rotten Tomato approval. That is my thing to you, Rotten Tomatoes, your move. 3.4 Letterbox. I'm flabbergasted, because I don't know if any of the Final Destinations had scores that high going into this. So that's interesting. And it's made by, kind of like a pair of directors and writer. Like, nobody has any big credits. This isn't a movie that's led by a big star. This is just riding on franchise, the way this franchise is created, and just, I don't know, the right time, because I guess Sinners is winding down, Until Dawn wound down. There just wasn't a lot of competition. And then, I don't know about you, Shane, when I went to the movie theater, it was like 3 movies existed and nothing else. It was literally just Thunderbolts, Sinners, and Final Destination Bloodlines. And it was so hard to watch anything else, which I tried. I tried to go out and watch Until Dawn. Couldn't do it. It was like one showing a day, because all of these had like 17 showings a day.
Yeah, I was the same way. We'll get to Clown on the Cornfield, but the same way, I had one showing. That's it.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it, so it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, and what has that movie been out for? 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
I tried.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's rough. We'll talk about their box office stuff too. But yeah, man, this movie, it threw me for a loop. It kind of broke my brain. It made me kind of just ask a lot of questions. We talked about this a little off air, and I want to get your take on it now. But this is a movie that, if I told you Final Destination 6, which they've already gone through the permutations. They did one in 3D. They did the one called The Final Destination to try to cheat instead of calling it Final Destination 4 or whatever it was. They've done all those things. They brought back Ali Larder to the second, I think, but that doesn't have a lot of carryover. Tony Todd is like the only guy who's been in multiple Final Destination movies. I believe that's accurate.
Yep, that's accurate.
And it has no killer. No, it's not a slasher, unless you count Death, which I guess you kind of have to.
To.
The weird part about these movies too is that it's the same rules, the same plot, except now this one has a family angle, which I think this is the first one, hence the bloodlines thing. But outside of that, like premonition cheats death, death tries to collect. It's weirdly like, I'm like, do we just like these movies because these people are disposable? That it's all about the creativity of the deaths and that it's kind of secretly a revenge story for death? Like, and we love revenge stories? Like, what is the appeal and why does this one matter more than like all those other kind of sequels to the original?
That's a great question. I don't know, because I was shocked when I saw the scores like you did. I'm like, there's no way it's this high.
Yeah.
And after watching, I'm like, what the hell were they taking? I would have loved to smoke what you were smoking when I was watching this movie, because
right.
I don't get it. Maybe because it's been 15, 14 years since the last one and it hit a sweet spot where there's nothing to see in the theater.
Right.
And I do think a lot of it is because I enjoyed it too, is like the cause and effect of like what's going to cause the next death. You know, what crazy thing is going to happen to cause a chain of events to cause the next death. I think that's what this whole franchise is, and that's why people are drawn to it. They want to see the ways in which people are going to get disposed of. I mean, period.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we saw the scene where, you know, the fucking thing fell down, hit the blower, hit the soccer, hit her in the face, in the you know, garbage truck she goes.
Yeah.
Fun stuff like that. But outside of that, like, I think we discussed this too. I've only seen the first handful of Final Destinations. And I'm like, all right, I got the premise. I don't need to see it anymore, because again, nothing changes. Like you know what you're supposed to do, but there's ever no way out of it. You know what I mean? Like in this movie, it's like, okay, you think they're out of it and they don't. And again, this movie has so many questions in it. And I'm like, okay, so you can death proof a house? Like, how does that work? And why do you have spikes and wooden thing? Like, what are you doing? Like, why?
I think it's just it's like controlling as many variables as possible.
Yeah.
But even still, it's like, oh, the wind came in, death is coming. It's like, is he in the air? Is he an aerosol thing?
Yeah. I mean, this movie was, again, it wasn't terrible. Like I said, I like some of the deaths.
No, and I don't want to say that either. So go ahead.
It was fun. It was fun. It was tongue in cheek. I thought the standout was Richard Harmon, who plays Eric. I thought his character obviously was the tattooed guy. I thought he was the best part of the movie. He brought the levity. He brought the fun. But other than that, like we discussed before, the whole family dynamic just was weird. I'm like, and I don't want to like sound awful, but it's like, are they Hawaiian? Like, are they Asian Pacific? But she looks Hispanic. Like, so I don't know what's going on here. Is she adopted? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, the plot and the whole family dynamic just threw me off the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I do like the opening sequence, though. I thought that was well done.
Yeah, I have a fear of heights. So between that and Drop, the movie Drop that was out a few weeks ago, which, you know, I'll talk about that too with box office and scores. But yeah, them both doing like top of the, you know, in the sky glass window restaurants. It's like, thanks.
That was cool. That was a cool scene. I really like that. And there are some pretty creative deaths, which I appreciated. But the whole plot, family dynamic just didn't work. At the end of the day, like you said, all these characters are disposable. Yeah. And what's the point of these movies, really? At least with Saw, and we comped that as maybe a close comp to this. There's like an actual killer. You know what I mean? There's like puzzles but Saw is like, this one is all about, what kind of trap are they going to fall into? Or how are they going to die?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Again, I had a fun enough time at this movie, but do I ever need to see another Final Destination? No. Because again, I didn't think I was going to see
this one. I think when we talked about leading up to it, it was like, we're like, no, I'm out. I don't care. And then slowly but surely it was like, oh, look at the reviews. And, people are really like into this. I'm like, maybe it's really just an inventive, fun thing. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm agreeing with you at least on that level. But like, it only goes so far because this movie just relies on a little bit of creativity, having kind of a laugh with them too, which I think is key here. But it's so stark to see not only the critical scores difference, but the box office difference. Because I want to throw a few numbers at you. Companion, Presence, Drop, and Hard Eyes combined their whole total run, $108 million. This movie made 102 in a weekend.
Woo! And
on a franchise that I thought was dead.
And I haven't seen Drop, but I can tell you all three of those prior movies are better than this movie.
Absolutely. And well, I think so. I think it's close to Hard Eyes. Companion Presence, I absolutely think is better. Drop is close. I think this movie, because of the family dynamic, I at least was more geared up at the end, I guess, than Drop kind of like fluffed the end a little bit. So, but it was still a lot more stylish and fun and inventive in a mystery kind of a way in the heart of it. So it's a good comp. But to me, I don't know. This is probably, fucking. I was like, The Amateur's better than this, and it made no money. It's like just general movies. I'm like, if it's not a franchise, I think we're in such franchise hell. Is kind of my point, that we're kind of getting what we deserve. And I don't mean that by me. You and I see all this stuff, but we've been seeing it for years. All the the top 10 movies of the year every year for the last few years are all sequel, reboot, rebootquel, whatever you want to call it. And horror is usually we're seeing it now where we're getting Megan 2, but Megan was a thing. That was a big deal of a thing. Smile, we got Smile 2, but at least Smile original was recent. Yeah. At least we'll buck the trend a little bit with horror. That's why I'm so flabbergasted at this making $102 million in a weekend. Meanwhile, Until Dawn, which was at least had IP, made 50 total, and Clown in the Cornfield is at 6.6, but probably on a micro budget.
Right.
So it'll probably, make a little money at the end of the day. But yeah, it's so weird when it's not a slasher and it's not like a Scream thing where it's a new slasher all the time. It's like a mystery element in that way. This was just all right, how's this dude going to get mashed up this time?
Yeah, it boggles my mind. Again, that's why I am shocked. I am shocked that it made that much money. I don't know what else to say. This is crazy in comparison to those other movies, which were better. Even, all those movies you named, I enjoyed more. Again, this was enjoyable, but it's I'm afraid that because it made this money and it's getting good vibe
coming. Yeah,
there's going to be another one coming. I'm like,
totally.
Why?
But I can couldn't you also see another one come out and then not do well? Just because it's been 14 years, so this one hit the perfect storm.
Yeah,
hit
the perfect storm.
We got our fill if you make another one in 2 years. I don't care.
Yeah, because we're going to get another one. We're getting another one.
And Tony Todd, R.I.P. Of course,
right,
too,
I know.
So.
And my only hope is just change the writing up where they actually can cheat fucking death. Will you please, find a solution to whatever
or do it in a different
way.
It's literally the same cheats every time.
Every time. So I don't know. The movie I didn't think we needed and is doing so well. I'm like, all right, man, this is where we're at in 2025.
Yeah, I will say, again, probably would you say your favorite death in there was for how much you said? What'd you say his name was? Eric. Yeah. Him, the way he almost died and then inevitably died, I think that's a good kind of combo for the best of what this movie could do. But I thought the ending, I was definitely rolling my eyes at
big time.
Just stupidity and just almost played for laughs version of the way certain people die at the. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah, no, we don't want to spoil it, but because they did fool me.
Maybe Eric died. Yeah, duh, come on.
Yeah, but maybe they did finally, and then you get that last scene. I'm like, okay, all right, and then the way they did, I'm like you. I think I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah. But then again, so somebody's gonna say, well, that's the point. So right. What do you think you were getting? And it's well. To be honest, because of the critical scores, I thought I was getting something maybe a little different, maybe a little more elevated, a little something. And say it's no, it's just this is the best one they had in a while, so we're gonna slap them on the back. It's like, okay,
right? Like
that's fine.
But still, like you want your final, you want your final girl once in a while. You want that person, and So I don't know, man. It was like I said, like you said, I still scratch my brain over some of the scenes and some of the writing and just the dynamic of everything. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't know, because like is that like they all keep having the same premonition to death. To what it's all the same.
And the whole scrapbook made me laugh too. Like she's drawing airplane pictures in there and like just like doodling shit. Like what? Like
it's a dream journal of how other people are dying. Like okay,
thanks, Grandma. Like
that's why she. I guess that's the only way you can survive like that without television, right? Where you're just getting premonitions of how people die all the time.
I guess. Take my doodle book.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Fucking
okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So obviously I did not score this as high as the critics and IMDb. I gave this a straight 2.5.
Yeah, I think I was kind to it, like saying it's a soft 3. So we're kind of like in the same zone.
Right.
Where it's like, yeah, it's a good time. You won't be upset that you saw it. But I can't. I have friends of mine who are literally like 4 out of 5. It's like, okay. And let me ask you this. You're a little bit older than me. I'm in my 40s too. Is it simply... Now, the first one of this came out in the early 2000s. I remember I saw the second one in... what is that? Early 03? Maybe? 02, 03? Somewhere around there. So... I know this is a 21st century franchise. So there's not many of those, right? Because if you think like, all right, Saw was 2000. So that's why we kind of keep throwing it back to that. Scream is, mid-90s.
Yep.
Halloween's been forever. Jason, all those guys, they're all older and forever. Been around for like 40, 50 years. So is it because this franchise means something to, like, is this more the millennial one and Scream is almost borderline, like, I don't know, because I identify with Scream.
I do too.
Scream is my age level, so quote unquote. But like Final Destination, I was in college, so it's not like I was like way out. But like if you saw that when you're 13, it probably means a little bit more. So like that's like young millennial versus me as an elder millennial. So, and I'm closer to, like, the Gen X thing is sort of
right.
Scream, it's around that thing. So I feel like this is that evolution. So I wonder if it's also an age gap thing, because I see a younger crowd, either A, because this is their first Final Destination, because they didn't watch them in real time because they were born in 2010, which... terrifying, but because was this PG-13 or R? I didn't look.
Hold on.
One of those things I don't have to think about.
Nope. I would venture to say it was R, but let me just pull it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood and a lot of like stuff you could see.
Yeah, it's rated R.
Yeah. So if you're 17, 18 seeing this now, then the first few were out, but like they started to lose their flavor. So this might be your first venture into Final Destination. So I think that matters. So you're getting like a whole new crop. It's kind of like when Halloween H2O came out.
Yes.
So like people got reinvigorated or introduced in a different way to Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis and everybody else.
Yeah.
So this kind of maybe feels like that. But I still don't even know if did H2O make a lot of money? I don't know. I don't remember it being like where this made like this kind of money.
No, I don't think it did. I think with H2O, it was one of those movies that we appreciated a couple years down the road. You look back and like, you know what? That was actually pretty fucking good. Like, that was a good Halloween. So I think now, years later, we look back on H2O as like, you know what? That kind of flipped the franchise back around and got people juiced into it. Because up until then, it was weird and went crazy and was not good. And then that came out, you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Because when I saw this, and I didn't even know, I think, that this was going to get like a big theatrical release. I literally, I don't know if it's because of the word Bloodlines, didn't wasn't there like a Pet Cemetery Bloodline or something? It was
There
called
was.
not too long ago.
Yes,
and it was straight
like,
to streaming, and it was like,
yep.
ugh. Yeah.
Yep.
So I just felt like this was going to be just another also ran, and to see it make this money and get these scores, I was like, wow.
Well, it had its 1 week in the sun because it's about to get crushed.
I don't want to play that card yet, but is it? I always say that because
it better.
Because the last Mission Impossible, while it made a lot of money, did quote unquote underperform for how expensive it is and all the other nonsense that goes into it. And I already saw that like they're going to get some of the premium screens, but then immediately get a lot of them ripped away. Because you want to hear some bullshit. I don't want to get too derailed because we're doing a very lovely horror episode. But the fact that I looked and I was like, oh, let me check out the IMAX stuff. Do you know that there's Lilo and Stitch IMAX showings that are taking spots from Mission Impossible in my local area?
You just made that up.
No, it's just stupid. The world doesn't make sense, Shane. That was the whole... Have you been listening to this conversation? That's exactly... The world is topsy-turvy, and it's not just in the horror realm. Things are weird.
Lilo and Stitch. Okay.
That movie's going to make a truckload of money, and I'm going to be a little sad inside.
Oh, don't. I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm going to avoid it like the plague. I'll tell you that much. I have the kids. I'm like, we're going to touch grass. I know this is weird coming from me, but let's go outside. Let's hope it's a nice weekend. Yeah. Daddy will see Mission Impossible by himself on Friday like an animal, and then we'll have a little fun. But speaking of these other horror titles that we brought up a little bit, you saw Until Dawn.
Yes.
Again, a surprising, $50 million. I think I said 60 before. I'm going blind.
No, you said 50.
Oh, okay, good. $50 million at the box office. This is directed by David F. Sandberg, who made both Shazam movies and Annabelle Creations. So very much kind of like a hired gun director. Not without style or anything else, but it seemed like this would still make some sense for him to do, considering Shazam 2 is so bad. I'm surprised he's not in director jail, but this might be if this is the equivalent, that's a good way to land. So where did this land for you? Because you said you actually knew the video game.
Yeah,
well enough
played
too,
the video
right?
game. Yep, played it, finished the video game. Yep.
So this is if we're trying to find a comp for Final Destination, Until Dawn having the repeatability, like the die and respawn kind of a thing. We have had some of those movies, but I don't know if we had them in horror, did we?
Well, when I was... I'll answer your question. Yeah, Happy Death Day, if you want to go there.
Sure. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
This movie had Happy Death Day feels and a little bit of Cabin in the Woods feel to it. But
sure.
Didn't execute as nearly as well as those two movies did. So it's like
but
a
not
lesser...
the humor either, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's a lesser version of both those movies.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, basically it's a group of friends trapped in a time loop where mysterious foes chase and kill them in a gruesome ways, and they must survive the night till dawn to escape. The cast is unknown. I don't know any of the young people in this movie. The only guy you'd recognize is the long-standing Peter Stormare. Yeah, who's great in everything, right?
I love him as a character actor. I think he's starting to lose his mind as a human being. I think a little bit out there in these streets, but I every time he's in something, I go, God, I love seeing that guy.
Right. So after playing the video game, the thing I didn't care much for, and I guess I understand why they did it for the movie. Okay, so in the game, pretty much, this event happens in the woods where there's one sister goes missing. Something happens to her. A year later, they get back invited to that same house, same group of friends, and then shit starts happening, and you play these characters and you find clues and find out what's going on. You like explore the world, and it's great. Totally great game. This one, now in the game, they did not have you die, you come back. In the game, you die, you're dead. Like dead.
Right.
So they changed that aspect in this game.
In
this movie. Yes. So the movie starts off, this group of friends, they go to try to track down the sister. So that's a common link. She gets to this area. No one knows what happens to her. They end up driving to this house and realize they're trapped in there by this crazy doctor, and they have to survive until dawn, obviously. So they don't realize how many lives they have to get through and find answers. So that part, they really changed it up a lot. And I don't know how I feel about that. I like I said, I understand why they did it, but I don't know. And in the game, I wish they would have taken more chances because the bulk of this movie takes place in the house.
Right.
It wasn't until like the last scene or last act where they kind of started to explore more of the area they were in. Now in the game, that's all you do is that you start in the house, but then you explore everything.
Sure.
And you end up in the cabin at the end. That doesn't really happen here.
Okay.
So I was kind of thrown off by that too. It's like, it would have been cool because they did have some cool creatures. There's a couple cool jump scares. There's a couple cool deaths, right? But again, the storyline is where they just fell apart. They varied too far away from the game.
Right.
And that's where I thought they just went off the rails. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't bad. I'm not like knocking it. It was different.
Yeah.
Especially for a video game, adaptation. Like you said, recently they started hitting, like we saw, like you mentioned at the top, with the video games having success now. Before that, we were getting shitty video game movie after video game movie, all the time. So this is kind of between the two.
Yeah. 20 years ago, this movie is House of the Dead, and it's a piece of trash.
Yes. But all in all, like, it was an hour and a half, so it was a short run time. I actually brought my daughter to this movie, who never played the game. So now she wants to play the game. So I was trying to explain to her, like, hey, it's cool, but this is different, right? But at the end of the day, like I said, with Final Destination, I like some of the deaths. I actually like some of the actors in here, though. It's the other problem I had is, like, it's one of those movies where you don't really give a shit about any of the people.
Right.
Like, they're not like awesomely cool people. You're rooting for them to survive. It's like, okay, like, just, you could all die now. Like, get it over with. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think this movie got made because when I'm watching the trailer, I was thinking Last of Us, because it looks like those kind of scenes, and I don't know if it's because of the one creature that they showed in the trailer looked like a clicker.
Yeah, it's the one creature that looks like a clicker. It's a good question you asked that, because the game has some years on it, so I don't know if this movie was in developmental hell for a while, and because of success of other movies got pushed through finally. Because
so a lot of people Sony produce this?
Yeah.
So I think that's really what it is. I think they're just sitting on a mountain of IP, and then whatever looks and feels right at the time, they'll just greenlight it now.
Right. And like I said, decent job. I was totally getting, like I said, Cabin in the Woods feel when they kept bringing in the different monsters and they kept exploring the area. Kind of had that vibe, like they're just sending these people in there to change the scenarios up and stuff.
Right.
But again, that movie is so far superior than this movie. So not an awful time. I gave it the same grade as Bloodlines. To me, it's a 2.5. It's not like a bad 2.5. It's just a 2.5. Right. So I would say, if you're interested, just Sony comes out. What streamers do they normally come out on?
So Netflix gets their first look. So I think this will do well enough on Netflix once it hits.
Yeah, so just wait for it to come on Netflix. Like, to me, there's no need to see it in the theater. It was okay enough. So, yeah. I mean, it wasn't awful. It was just another meh movie.
Well, on that same note, I saw a clown in a cornfield, which I told you, like, this movie is directed by Eli Craig, who made Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which I believe you liked quite a bit.
I love that movie.
So what's weird is that this movie, again, it partially knows, with a winking title like that, right? You can't expect this. You can only expect it to probably be a couple of different things, right? It's either comedic, like a Tucker and Dale versus Evil, where it's like it doesn't take itself seriously at all, and it's gonna make you laugh, and it'll be gory, and that'll be the end of it. Or you would think that it'll just be a slash and gash, it'll be closer to like, maybe it'll be like a Terrifier, or like where it'll go straight trying to just gore it up. And it's kind of neither. And I told you that I was like, if you liked Thanksgiving or Founders Day, it feels more like that. But even I would say Thanksgiving operated almost like in the Scream franchise tradition of how they kind of unfold things, plus with a mass slasher and all this stuff. This one, it's still trying to make it more about the town and like town legend and like those type of movies. So, and then seeing where what it means of who's actually doing this and all of that. Like, it's, I don't want to call it obvious, but it's kind of obvious. Like, there's only so many people in this movie, and it's like pretty straightforward. And especially like, you've probably seen a million movies where, or even I call it the Law and Order SVU effect, where it's like, oh, they didn't have they have a special guest on this week. Boy, wonder who the killer is. It's like one of those things to where It's like, oh, they only had the budget to get like this level guy in this movie. He's got to be pretty fucking important. So why is he here? So it feels like one of those movies. And I don't know. I think a lot of people, especially when I saw my friends' reviews or any of the crowd reaction when I'm there or anything like that, it's again another one of those movies that the plot is the performances are and a lot of the characters are forgettable. And I think your version of liking or disliking this movie is how much you enjoyed the kills. And I think that's what we're getting. And I'm not anti that. Of course, because some of them I'm like, damn, that's great. And I enjoyed so many of those in the 80s and 90s growing up that there is going to be an audience for this. And there has been. I mean, like I said, it made $6.6 million on a movie that literally sounds like it should have gone straight to, Prime Video or something,
right.
Just straight for rental, where somebody bought it for $3 and went, it's not that bad. Clown to Cornfield, Sounds stupid, right? But it's actually kind of good. Like those kind of things. It's fine. It's probably like a 2.5 in that same meh vein. So I think this is kind of the part of the horror year. I'm trying to look at it in a zoomed out way, right? Because we have so many horror movies now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know February is now like this big horror entry section of the year. Then there's the summer horror movies where it's like a lot of like shrug, throw stuff against the wall mixed with big IP. You're going to get Megan and Final Destination and all that stuff. And then the fall is like, all right, we're just going to, literally just empty out the tank and throw the rest of the big time scary IP, all that stuff. Like your Black Phone 2 at the end of the year is coming.
Conjuring.
Something that feels a little more scary, I guess. The only one, but to me, it's funny, right? Because I think the two scariest looking movies for the rest of the year was it Weapons? Is that the name of that one? The Zach Kreger movie?
Oh boy.
That movie looks fucking deranged, and I love it. And then there's Bring Her Back, which is the guys who did Talk to Me. So those two movies look like actual horror, like that'll freak you the fuck out kind of stuff. These are just kind of the
playful,
the
right?
glossy, playful, funny, inventiveness with the hack 'em ups, kind of a thing. But ultimately, they're just going to be like, all right, I'm had an okay time at the movies, and that's fine.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
I think later on in the year, I think we'll maybe be saying this year is good, but we're at a time right now where I can see it being like, eh.
Yeah. No, because
we got our Sinners and Companions being like the quote gourmet prestige version of all this, and then we're caught in the middle now.
Yeah, and Bring Her Back, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that comes out not this weekend, but
soon.
For me, it comes out the next weekend, the 29th. So I'm looking forward to that. And not to go off the rails, but you brought up Megan too. Yeah. Which, you look at the second trailer. I loved it, by the way, but you can't really call it a horror movie because they're going in a totally different direction with it. They're going a very playful, action-y kind of.
No, it's Terminator 2, Shane.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be kills in there, right? But I think they know what they have, and I was surprised they went in a total 180 as far as direction goes. I'm like, that looks like it could be really fun.
Yeah.
And so, but would you consider that horror at this point?
I can't really, because if Megan comes back and she's the thing, but like literally it's Terminator 2 because it's Arnold was the bad guy in the first one, comes back and he's the good guy in the second one to protect from a similar version of himself or an updated version. It literally is Terminator 2, but with Megan. And at first I was just kind of like a little off put and the designs and stuff and her in like the squirrel. The
suit.
What do you call it? The squirrel suit and flying through the air. I'm like, And then like that one scene where it's like, she's a bad bitch or whatever. Like that guy, like the whole audience interact. It's almost too kitschy. Yeah. But I think I'll enjoy it because once you're in it, I think you'll be like, all right, cool. But it was a jarring kind of first trailer. But like I said, I think I'm warming to it now.
Yeah, I'm glad you are because I'm already saw it and I was like, you know what? That's a fun direction to take that in. So
yeah, especially as far as what the summer's going to give us, Shane. It's going to be feast or famine. Because I mean, there's some of these IPs where we're just eye rolling, and then there's ones where it's like, okay, well, I enjoyed the last one, so let's buckle up and give this one a shot. And Megan is one of those. And next week, when we're sitting here talking about Mission Impossible ending, quote unquote, with the final reckoning, I'm in. Like, I literally rewatched part 1 today. I don't know how many Mission Impossibles I'm going to just kind of play in the background of my life for this week to kind of prep myself in a way. But I rewatched the end of Dead Reckoning just to remember where I was and all those things. And I rewatched that recently too. I watch Fallout all the time. If it's on, TV or whatever, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, because they're all on Paramount. So I watched Dead Reckoning probably 6-8 months ago.
They're all on Prime too right now.
Yeah,
they're
so
all
I'm fairly have that one like tattooed fresh, like so I can walk into this one like, all right, this is everything that happened. So yeah, I'm good, man. Like,
yeah, it's one of those like I've watched them so many times I can't be lost, and I've now watched that trailer so many times I feel like I've seen the movie, but of course the movie's like 2 hours and 45 minutes or something. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the Return of the King. It's gonna have like 7 endings with each individual character. It's been around forever because this franchise has collected a lot of them, and whoever's left standing, of course, because who knows who's going to die and whatever. That's how you know this franchise is done if somebody like, say, Ving Rhames gets
because he's been there since the first one.
Yeah. So that will matter a lot, and he'll get his shine, and I'm sure it wouldn't be until the end anyway. It'll have to matter if he does, and if he doesn't, then that's cool too. But I am looking forward to that, even though I'm hearing it's got 80% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, and that doesn't make me happy. But again, as a person I felt like I had to defend Dead Reckoning a lot too. So if this is just more of what Dead Reckoning kind of was, then whatever. Who cares?
I'm fine, but this was I won't like drag this show on any longer. But like, I want to bang my head against my table when you see like that movie get 80%, but Bloodlines gets 93%. Like, what the hell are we talking about?
Because again, it's a matter of no expectations, just meetings above, or ones that have sky high and then it's okay.
Right.
So like I'm hoping that's not where we're going. I'm looking forward to it regardless. I'm very pumped to see it. I'm seeing it in IMAX because I'm a fucking American. So I'm gonna do that this weekend. Also for people, I've seen it. It's embargoed still, so I can't say anything, but Fear Street Prom Queen, for the rolling this back into the horror, comes out Friday. So different director. So it's a different vibe than the original trilogy. And obviously it's a one-off, so it's a little bit different there too. Still set in shady side, still R.L. Stine book related adaptation, all that stuff. So you're going to get, I don't want to say too much because I know myself. I'll just fucking roll into it. But that is coming out on Friday on Netflix. So if you're a fan of it, when the trilogy came out a few years ago, the new entry is coming up Friday. So check that out too. If you're still looking for your horror bug before, it just seems like there's a horror movie almost every week or two. So like, we can't escape it. We covered 3 of them on this, and we'll keep covering them as we always do. Like I said, Mission Impossible next week. So everybody do your homework, as I've been trying to do my homework. Shane, we can probably write them. We've seen them so many times, make the book adaptations if anyone's hiring. But get out there. Do your homework on that. Do your homework on this podcast.
Yes.
Follow us on the socials. Subscribe to the podcast. Tell a friend. Get more people into this conversation, into this audience. And be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.